foods and beverages out of our schools.
A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
All right. So as promised, we have an interview at this time. As we know that this month is recognized, and for those who don't know, that this month is recognized as Endometriosis Awareness Month. And we are joined today by Mrs. Ramona Riley, CEO of Cosmic Woman, and is one of the leading reproductive health specialists in the Caribbean. She specializes in endometriosis awareness and holistic treatments for women affected by this condition. Good morning, Mrs. Riley.
Good morning, darling. Good morning.
Wow.
Thank you for having me.
Bright morning for you. Bright, you wake up in a...
Wake up long time.
Good. Well, I'm still waking up, but you wake up.
I think it's the children. The children do that. Friday mornings, you know?
Oh, yes. You'll send them off.
Yes, bye.
So, Mrs. Riley, let us start with the basics. What is endometriosis?
Boy. Okay, so endometriosis is a reproductive condition. It is basically the uterus, the lining, or what seems like the lining that spreads from the uterus. And it can connect to different organs. Right. So you can have a woman that suffers from endometriosis and the lining, or what they would call scar tissue, is now connected to her bowels, or it's connected to her bladder, or it's connected to different organs that should not necessarily be connected with scar tissue at all. And it creates a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort. And this can start really early. I mean, even 14 years old, 13 years old. We just never know until later on in life, unfortunately, because you can't really diagnose endo just from looking at it. The symptoms, probably you can say this sounds very endo-like, but you won't really know for a fact unless you do like a laparoscopy. And a child that's 13, 14, 15, we don't usually think to do that. You know, we just think it's painful periods, you know, which is normal. It's normal for your period to be painful, but it's not healthy. And that's what moms and dads need to understand when it comes to the young girls. It's okay, yes, women all over time, all over the world suffer from painful periods. It's fine. You grow out of it one day. But a lot of times that's not the case. You know, and then how long do they suffer? They suffer for 10 and 15 years before it gets any better. So yeah, that's something we definitely have to look into as well.
Wow. So don't take it for granted. You go check it out.
You have to go check it out. Do a pelvic ultrasound, understand what's going on for sure.
Wow. There's a lot. I didn't know all of this.
And it's a hormonal issue as well. So it is the estrogen level that's too high that's creating this issue.
I see.
Right.
I see. So this month is celebrated as Endometriosis Awareness Month. I really want you to shed some light on this month as we celebrate it. So shed some on not celebrate, but recognize endometriosis month. Let's shed some light on that first.
Well, I guess worldwide, March is endo month. And in terms of how we got here, I am not 100% sure, but I'm so grateful because it's taken so long for us to be able to bring awareness to endometriosis. Again, it's something that is not usually diagnosed. And so just the fact that we now have this month, that we can now talk a little bit more about it, because usually, you know, after an awareness month is passed, you don't really hear so much about the issue or the condition until next year again, right? But this is something that women are living with every single day. So for example, you have women who, you know, they have painful periods and they're going to use like a heating pad, you know, to help that. Women that have endometriosis, heating pad is not working. They actually want the cold tile. They want to take everything off their abdomen and they want to throw their stomach on the cold tile because they want to numb the pain. They don't want to bring ease to it, and because they're in so much pain. Right. So the month itself is just great to know that, you know, we're bringing an awareness here. We're reminding the public that this actually does exist. And I mean, it's 1 in every 8 if not more. I mean, up to 2 years ago, it was one in every 8. I'm sure by now it's probably 1 in every 10
Wow.
women that have endometriosis.
Wow.
So if you know 10 women, one at least has.
Wow.
So it is very prevalent.
Wow. I'm wondering, because I have a friend currently experiencing some excruciating pains in her side, and she's been trying to figure out like what's happening. And as you're speaking about the symptoms and stuff, I'm thinking to myself, is this what
Sounds like something she could maybe have?
And whoa.
Yeah. So she wants to go to the doctor for sure, get a pelvic ultrasound done,
Yeah.
so they can see what state her uterus is in. That's really where she wants to start, or anyone wants to start.
Yeah, because as you talk about the fact that she doesn't want, it's nothing that you want to comfort yourself. You really just want to be on the floor. That's exactly how she responds when this pain comes.
Yeah, it's really bad. I mean, in knee pain, joint pain, any kind of, then, because it's an estrogen condition, you have some women that now they suffer with migraines and nausea and all these other things. So not only are you cramping in your stomach and you feel like you want to die, but then there are all these other symptoms also that's affecting you.
Yeah.
And then if we think about, having to get up every day and function and be the best version of yourself, like how do you do that? When all you want to do is jump off a cliff, and especially also if you have a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Right. So how does that work out? And then if you're married or you have a significant other, having endometriosis can really throw off your relationship. It takes so much more work and time and effort and patience also from your partner.
Understand.
Right. Because sex is painful. You have endometriosis, you don't even want to do that. You know what I mean? So that is also a problem. And infertility, right? It comes with the territory. A lot of my endometriosis clients, I would say at least half of them, they didn't start doing anything about their endo until they realized that fertility wasn't happening. So they were dealing with the pain. It sucked every single month, but they were still going through it. But what became the bigger issue to them now is, here I am, I'm married, I'm 35, it's time to have a baby. And it's just not happening because her hormones, her uterus, everything is just out of whack.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow. Endometriosis.
Yeah.
I want to go back to the month. What are some things that are done through the month as you spread awareness about endometriosis?
Well, it's done in different ways. I know, for example, like Base Foundation, who Shauna, she definitely brought more awareness to endo when it came to Jamaica. Shauna Fuller Clark, really awesome woman. And so that has really helped as well. So she has said, like today you're supposed to wear yellow because we're supporting our endo sisters, endo warriors. For me personally, for this month, I actually have a sweepstakes going on where as endo sister would send me an email just telling me about her story, and I choose 2 women to get a free consultation and to get discounts on products depending on their treatment plan that I create for them. And I find that I do this every year for endo. I think it's important. I think, gosh, if they're suffering every day, because even if the period isn't there, they're still having symptoms with something. So if it's symptoms before the period starts and then after the period, they still have symptoms. So you don't really have any chance to just be.
Wow.
Right. So I do this every year with the sweepstakes, and I've seen it change lives. And so that's also quite, exciting. So that's something that I personally push.
Got you.
But I think the country on a whole is slowly recognizing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope we'll continue to recognize this and spread more awareness about endometriosis.
Yes.
And as you're talking about it, are there different methods of treatment for endometriosis?
So it depends on how you look at it. If we look at it from Western medicine, they will say that there are certain treatments, definitely a laparoscopy, which means that they go inside and they remove all the scar tissue or whatever else that's coming from the uterus. And of course, that is going to alleviate a lot of pressure and pain and stress and discomfort, make her periods better. That will. But what happens is when we go in and just clean up something, when it is a hormonal hormonal issue. We haven't fixed the root cause, right?
Okay.
We have just removed it from the situation, but the situation and how the situation was created is still there. So guess what happens? In a year, in 2 years, it comes back. And guess what? It doesn't just come back and just like, hey, you remember me? It comes back with a vengeance, right? Because it's like, how dare you remove me from here? I was quite fine. I guess some kind of thing like that, you know? So yes, that is a treatment that is used. Yes, that can help for a period of time, but that I do not believe is the best way to go, right? But to each his own. For me, I want to get to the root of the problem. Your estrogen level is too high. We need to get that down. We need to get into your liver, cleanse your liver, strengthen your liver, because that's where the majority of the excess estrogen is, right? We do that. We clean your blood. We balance the hormones. You'll be okay.
Okay, so can it be cured, per se?
I believe that you can have endo. You can manage your endo in a way that you can live your life like you don't have it.
I got you.
Okay, I don't want to say that you can get rid of endo and it's be gone completely, but you can live your life quite fine. Not having painful periods, not being stressed out about it, not having this pain in your knees and all this type of stuff. You can do something about that for sure. Of course, I use the natural holistic way because that's just me. That's how I healed my own reproductive issues. And that's what got me on the journey to help other women, right? Because that sufferation, trust me, even though it's 1 out of 10 women that have endo, you having endo, you feel like you're the only one on this earth that has the endo. You know, you feel like you're the only one suffering. But yes, it is definitely something that you can do something about. First of all, I would definitely say, look at your foods, ladies. Your foods. If your estrogen level is high, why are we eating foods that have high estrogen or have estrogen in it at all? Estrogen is not your friend. You know, and what has estrogen? Soy has estrogen. Anything from the cow has estrogen, right? Depending on the chicken, how it's raised, what it's fed, right? Could have estrogen. Then we can look at things like our fish, right? If it's not wild caught, it's full of estrogen, right? Because they have to put that in there so that the fish or the seafood can live, right? That's how they grow, right? And so looking at your diet is extremely important. So that would be one of the ways on how you can manage. The endo, right?
Got you. Wow, Mrs. Riley, this is a lot of information. For me on this morning, I have to take a quick break and we're going to wrap up our interview on the other side of this break. Yeah, man. You're tuned to Love 101 FM, the family station.
Chances are you're sitting in your car right now, or even a taxi, and you're stuck in traffic. But if you had a Flow prepaid plan, you would have unlimited data for navigation apps so you could avoid much of the traffic and find a better way. So you would avoid bad driving Bobby to your right, who is boring into your lane, and singing Sasha, who doesn't realize everyone can see her. Now, Flow's unlimited social and talk prepaid plans come with unlimited data for navigation apps and more TikTok data than any use data. Get a 7-day Flow prepaid plan for only $950. Get your plan. Download the Top Up Flow app. Conditions apply.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank of CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
Everyone has a big to-do list nowadays. With this busy schedule, it's easy to forget about yourself. Don't neglect your blood work. Just go for a quick and easy testing with Aculab Diagnostics Limited. Swift, simple testing, tailored to your timetable. They're open every day, including Sundays, keeping pace with your calendar. Dial 613-2714 for more details. That's 613-2714. Quick results, late hours. Because you matter.
When you retire, you're still going to get up.
Rise and shine.
You're still going to get out. Ready for the road. Because you're retiring from work, not your lifestyle. With a Sagicor Lifestyle Approved Retirement Scheme, individuals can save up to 20% of their income towards retirement tax-free. So when you've reached retirement, you'll have more than a rocking chair waiting for you.
I'm ready for my day at the spa.
Start saving for your golden years with a Sagicor Lifestyle Approved Retirement Scheme. Apply online at elife.sagicorjamaica.com.
Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on Habashco. Get it on Habashco. Bashco. Be everything where you need. Bash quality service guaranteed and Habashco. Habashco that gives you more. Yeah, Bashco. Get furniture for your house, get linen, everything for your kitchen, rocks, mugs, and more at Bashco. The store that gives you more. Bashco.
All right. You're still inside Fun Friday, and we are continuing our interview with Mrs. Ramona Riley, CEO of Cosmic Woman, and we're talking about the awareness of endometriosis and all things endometriosis. She was sharing not too long ago that not necessarily endometriosis can be cured, but it can be managed. And I'm telling you, it's a lot of information for me. I didn't know all of this, and I'm so happy that she's here this morning to share with us. And I'm sure you're learning as well. And so if you know someone, a woman who needs some sort of help, needs to just check in with themselves to see, hey, what's going on with me? Come on, just let them know. Tune in right now. We have a few minutes left, and we're going to talk some more about endometriosis. So let me tell me this. How can someone now give support to someone who's suffering with endometriosis?
So it depends. It depends on the relationship that you would have with that person, right? So if we're talking about, your significant other, then that support, that type of support is very needed, right? The patience is needed, right? Because of course you have to, even if the woman is a boss woman, that holds it down, independent, that type of thing. When she's now suffering with all of these endometriosis symptoms and that type of thing, it really breaks her down. And so her significant other definitely needs to be there to understand, right? I mean, constant care. It's just what it is, so if it's helping her, rubbing her stomach, if it is understanding that, your sex life right now just can't be what it used to be or what you're used to or what you want, and just having that understanding, I mean, that in itself will go a long way. Also, if you know that she can't eat certain things, don't eat those things in front of her, what I mean? Or you figure out alternatives, because again, you want her to be okay, you want to support her, and so you do that in whichever way that you can. It just depends on the woman. Every woman is different, and every woman's endometriosis symptoms can be different also. So it really just depends. And you also have women that, because it's an estrogen driven condition, you will have endometriosis, but you also have fibroids. Or you have endometriosis and you also have PCOS. Or you have endometriosis, PCOS, and fibroids. Yeah, because they're all estrogen driven.
Wow.
Yeah. All three. Yeah, it's very common.
I cannot imagine experiencing that. I cannot imagine that. But it's not the end, though.
It's not the end. You just have to learn how to manage it. You just have to understand. You just have to know yourself, know your body, and be willing to change what you need to, so that you can live a good, decent, life, functioning at 100% level.
Yeah.
You deserve that.
And that's why it's so important to be aware and, do some research, find out what's happening, especially for those who are caring for those with endometriosis.
Yes.
Figure out what's happening. How can I help you?
Right.
How can I support? I have a basic understanding or knowledge of this, so that I'm able to, give you some sort of shoulder to lean on. Whatever you need.
Because sometimes it's just, you just want to know that the person is there.
Yeah.
They can't necessarily help you, but it's still just that they're there. That support is enough. I have gentlemen that call me making appointments for their wives or their girlfriends. They don't know what's going on with them, but they know that this cannot be normal or this cannot be healthy, you know, and it might be, again, her norm, but her norm doesn't mean healthy. And that is something that I think everyone needs to understand. Normal does not mean healthy.
Wow.
Right.
Say that one more time.
Normal does not mean healthy. So normal, your period lasts 7 days since you've been 13 and now you're 35 and that's normal. It's normal. But a 7-day period is ridiculous, right? Your period can be 18 hours, 24 hours. I mean, my period is 24 hours, right? And it took me a while for it to get there. It used to be 12 days. And that's because I myself had my own reproductive condition called endometriosis, which is inside the uterus. So endo is the outside of the uterus. My issue was inside of the uterus.
Mrs. Riley, we're going to bring you back to talk about
I'll be back. Just tell me when.
For sure. Let's see. Wow. Is there anything else that you want to just share just before we wrap up our interview?
What I would like to say is that your period tells a story. So listen to the story and understand that you can change things. But the story, what your period is saying, what it's telling you, is the first step, right? If you are suffering with painful periods or anything like that, I do recommend going to the OBGYN. Right, getting a pelvic ultrasound done, a transvaginal pelvic ultrasound, so they can go inside and look and see. They are not going to necessarily diagnose you with endo like that, but they will be able to see some things aren't right in terms of the uterus, how it is, what it's shaped like, how it's connected to certain things, maybe, just depending on how bad it is. But I would definitely recommend that instead of sitting down and suffering every day or every month. If there's anyone that knows anyone that has endometriosis, please tell them to go on Instagram and look up Cosmic Woman. Yes. There's so much information there, on top of the fact that we're having this sweepstakes right now that someone that you know and love could probably benefit from. Okay. And the sweepstakes literally is just them sending me an email about their story, what's going on. And I choose 2 women out of the amount of women that send their information over. And by the end of the month, you get that information. I choose the winners, and then we start with the consultations and treatment.
Okay. How can we contact you? Because well, just before you give us that information, someone asked, what is PCOS? I know that's a different topic.
But I can say it real quick.
Quick.
So PCOS is also an estrogen-driven condition. Okay, it's polycystic ovarian syndrome. So this has nothing now to do with the uterus. This is the ovaries. But it is hormonal again, and there are different types of PCOS. So you have the PCOS where you can't stop bleeding. You have the PCOS where you don't see a period. You have the PCOS where you have hair growing in manly places. Right? Your chin, your chest, your nipples, all of that. And so PCOS, again, is something that we don't talk enough about, but there's so many women that are suffering from it. So I guess we'll have to talk about that one day.
Definitely. And finally, just let us know, how can we reach out to you? How can we contact you?
So Instagram is a really good place. So they can do Cosmic Womb Man, and of course it's womb.
Spell it for the people again.
Cosmic Womb, WOMBMAN. It's the womb and the man. You can go on Instagram, get information, send a DM. I'm the one that answers the DMs, so it's a safe space. No one else is reading. You can also send a WhatsApp to the office number, which is 406 2764. That's the office number, 406 2764. You can call, you can WhatsApp, anywhere. It's the Cosmic Woman is an international business. We started in South Carolina, came to Jamaica. We've opened up now in Florida also, but we have customers worldwide or clients worldwide. So if you know someone that is in Dubai, don't worry, we can still help them. But yeah, those are probably the best ways to reach me.
All right, you heard it all this morning inside Fun Friday. This is Ramona Riley, CEO of Cosmic Woman, and She's one of the leading reproductive health specialists in the Caribbean. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me, darling. I
Yes.
appreciate it. And I'll be back.
Yes. And we appreciate, yes, lots of people are appreciating the information. So she'll be back with more info inside. I don't know if it'll be love in the morning, but somewhere she'll be here. All right. Thank you again.
Blessings.
Alrighty. The time on Love 101 is 8 o'clock and 8 o'clock, 1 minute 55 seconds. And it is time at 8 o'clock that we tune into. You're now invited to listen to the program Forward in Faith, brought to you by the New Testament Church of God, Bayside, Portmore.
Will return to this earth some sweet day, or sorrow will then all be o'er. The Master so gently will